Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a quick recap of the Calling Taiwan Day 1 as far as the metagame, some of the top decks you're seeing, and then also give you kind of a quick round-by-round analysis on what took place in case you weren't able to watch it. If you're not aware, it's down in the description below. Go to the Fab TCG YouTube. They're streaming it on that YouTube. You can watch the VOD of Day 1 if you want, and then if you want to watch it live, it goes live at 8 p.m. Central at night, and then it goes to like 3 in the morning. So Day 2 and the top 8 will be tonight, obviously, as we go into it, since they're a little bit ahead of U.S. time. But we're going to get right into it. Also, we have the Outsiders background, a little bit of the pits, because I'm going to be doing an Arachne deck tech an interview with Wookie, I believe is how they pronounce their name. I'm going to be interviewing him today. You'll get the correct pronunciation during the interview, but that'll be coming out Monday. Going to go over the Arachne deck that ended up being a Jeremiah on stream at the Battle Hard Milwaukee, I believe, and kind of talk about that. So be on the lookout for that as well. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Patreon and the Discord down below. So this was the metagame. This is the metagame for the Day 1 of the Calling Taiwan. 58 Lexi. Crazy. I think a lot of people were expecting Lexi to come back out a little bit more in full force. It's been a little bit more even at the Battle Hardened level, but I think with a big event like the Calling Taiwan, people are going to really play what they think is the best deck in the room, which right now is Lexi. Jeremiah's definitely closed that gap, and she has some really good matchups, but Lexi's the best deck. I think it's not really relatively close. Jeremiah being number 2 is pretty obvious. You did see more Dash. Now that people have had time to kind of take in some of the new Bright Lights inclusions, Dash is, OG Dash honestly got the best out of everything of all the new Mechanologist heroes, so seeing her more represented is no surprise. Bravo's still got really good representation, and then Katsu being 5th is really cool. Icelander's steadily going a little bit down, honestly. It'll be interesting. I still think she'll hit Living Legend at the ProQuest level, but I could be wrong. It's going to be interesting to see that. Still great to see a lot of Uziri, and then it's pretty spread out across the board. 9 Fi, 8 Rhinar, 7 Azalea, 3 Riptide, which is really cool to see. I think that's 2 Vincent. It's being covered up by the Flesh and Blood logo, but I'm assuming it's 2. 1 Arachne and 1 Dash IO. So we have no Teklavossin, no Max. I am surprised seeing no Max. That is really interesting, but for the most part, we have most every hero represented here in the metagame, but no insane surprises. When it comes to round by round, I'll talk about that before we go into what the top tables looked like. So round 1 was Nick Butcher on Jeremiah playing against a Dash. I forgot the Dash's name off the top of my head, but Nick Butcher ended up pulling that out. Nick Butcher kind of controlled it. Took a really good life lead early on. I think it was like 40-29 or something like that. And then the Dash was on a Tekla Pounder Dash. It wasn't on the Control Dash, at least from what I saw. I never saw another item come out after Induction Chamber. They started with Induction Chamber, I believe. I don't know if they just couldn't find their other items or if they were just on Pounder. But Nick was able to establish enough board, and they weren't able to get their items out in order to clear dragons effectively, and eventually Nick just kind of overpowered and used things to his advantage. It did get a little bit close. Dash did pull the lead in by like less than 10 life, but then Nick just kind of ran away with it. So that was round 1. Round 2, a Bolton won over a Kano. And it was an interesting match. Nerves definitely come into factor when people are on stream. I know if I was ever on stream, I'd be nervous. That's just how it is. But what happened was, long story short, the Kano lost by 1 life. So technically, so the Bolton was on 15 life, and the Kano had to do their combo turn because Bolton was about to play a Beacon of Victory and just went off of that. And so Kano did their combo turn, but combo turn wasn't a good one. It was just like a must-do combo turn and dealt 14 damage. The reason that's important out of 15, the reason that's important is because on turn 1, if you go back in the stream and watch it, Bolton starts, so Bolton gets the first turn, and Kanos normally when they go second, they will, if you don't make them give up their whole hand, they'll, Kano once or twice and try to chip in some damage before they draw up on their first turn. And the Kano had an Eye of Ophidia and like 2 other cards and just didn't pitch to Kano before the Bolton drew up. I don't know if they forgot or if the Bolton did it too fast and whatever happened. I don't know what it was. I just know that Kano didn't draw up. And not only, or the Kano didn't play on Bolton's turn, on Bolton's first turn. And not only did the Kano not play on Bolton's first turn, the Kano didn't draw up. So the Kano like blocked with a card for Bolton had 3 cards in hand, including Eye of Ophidia, and then the Bolton just drew up. So the Kano didn't play on the Bolton's turn, and the Kano didn't draw up to their 4 cards. So that sucks because that was actually very impactful. I think if they would have done that, maybe the life totals would have been a little bit lower and they would have been able to close it out. So sad to see, but nerves get to people. It happens. It's no hit on the Kano. Stuff happens. But that was round 2. Bolton ended up taking it up. Round 3 was an Azalea Katsu matchup. Man, Katsu was on stream twice during day 1, and both times was crap matchups for the Katsu. 2 of his worst matchups, honestly, in the metagame. He played against Azalea, and that matchup was truly showing what Azalea does to aggro when she draws her normal cards. She hit a couple dominated Red in the Ledgers, a dominated Remorseless. She had a couple Codex turns. She just controlled the game completely. Just absolutely dominated the Katsu. It wasn't even close. And ended up pulling that game out. I don't even think Katsu got a combo turn off until like 3/4 of the way through a game. And it wasn't even a good combo turn. I mean, like just activated Katsu. So that was that. Then we saw Hayden Dale and Josh Lau in round 4. And I was super excited for this because Hayden Dale was on Dromai. Josh Lau is on his normal Rhinar, and Josh Lau has been a Rhinar since day 1. You'll be able to tell by the equipment suite. But Hayden Dale is also very known for his Rhinar play. So it was a really cool matchup to watch. Unfortunately, this was the nature of the high roll. Josh Lau quite literally just absolutely high rolled the crap out of Hayden. I mean, the first 3 turns, all 3 turns for Josh Lau were Blood Rush turns. Turn 1, Josh Lau went first, did a Blood Rush Bellow turn, dealt 9 damage to Hayden because he couldn't block it. It was a triple Intimidate turn. Nothing Hayden could do. Then proceeded to Blood Rush Bellow 2 more straight turns. And got the life total. I mean, the life total was like 35 to like 12 or something crazy. I don't remember the exact. It was a lot to a little. But after that, Hayden kind of stabilized a little bit and was able to bring it a little bit closer, but not really. Josh Lau just kind of ran away with it after that. That matchup's already atrocious for Jeremiah, and the fact that Josh Lau triple blood rushed him made it even worse. So really, really unfortunate to see with 2 really high-quality players, but it also showed the power of Rhinar if he hits his turns. Then we saw on round 5, it again was a bad matchup for Katsu. Riptide against Katsu. Riptide's very good in the Katsu with all the traps and all the reactions, and because a lot of Riptide's traps trigger off go again, it's obviously easy for Katsu. Or easy to do against Katsu. So Riptide just fatigued the Katsu. Had some really, really key tar pit traps, which are huge in that matchup to be able to prevent. Because if you tar pit trap a Katsu, they can't Katsu trigger that turn. Because if the next time a card hits, it's also the first time it hits, which is what Katsu needs. The Katsu trigger only can be done on the first tag action card hitting. So if Katsu doesn't trigger there, then it doesn't trigger at all. And so he did that like 2 or 3 turns and just really steamrolled the Katsu. And the Katsu kind of stabilized and actually brought it close. I think it was like 7 life to 3, but then just got fatigued after that. So really unfortunate that both games against Katsu were against his, honestly, out of all these heroes you're seeing on the field, as a Katsu player, as a Katsu main, looking at this right here, there's 3 decks I wouldn't want to play, and the top 2 are Azalea and Riptide. The next deck I probably wouldn't want to play here is obviously Lexi, Icelander. But 2 out of 3 of Katsu's worst matchups were on stream. Then we had Uziri, Fatigue, and Azalea. That was a really good matchup. Uziri just showed what she can do with her constant disruption. It was definitely a contract style list, and just fatigued the Azalea. And in that matchup, as someone who's played both decks, Azalea really wants to hit a couple key dominate turns that Uziri just can't block out, even if they're on the fatigue game plan. But Azalea never, A, got the chance, or B, just didn't draw the cards right to do that. Like, she really has to get some good dominate in order to take control of that matchup, and she just never did. So that happened there. And then the last one, I didn't watch a ton of it. It was 3 a.m. when I saw that the last round was going to be Lexi v. Lexi. I went to bed. I'm not going to lie. I just don't have an interest in watching who high rolls who first. And that's what happened. I went back and watched it this morning, and Nova Chan just high rolled the other Lexi. It wasn't really a skill intensive matchup. It was just I drew my power turn before you drew your power turn type thing. Not to say the players aren't skillful. It's just that mirror is literally a coin flip. So that's how the rounds went. As far as the top decks for day 1, this is not the last round. This is going into the last round, but this is the last time they showed this. This was the top 8 as far as like standings going into the last round, I think. So I I think so, unless all these people have one loss, because there was 7 rounds, right? 7 rounds. So unless first place had a loss, it was just possible. I'm pretty sure going into the last round, this is what we had. So we had 4 Lexis, a Uziri, a Katsu, a Dromai, Azalea. So 5 heroes represented technically, but dominated by Lexi, obviously. Some really good players in there. Nick Butcher being in the top 8. Nova Chan is a well-known name. There's a couple of different ones. The Uziri up there was also on stream. Nick Butcher was on stream. The Azalea was on stream. Nova was on stream. So like a lot of the top players, obviously. So it's really cool to see a Katsu in the top 8. At least going into day 2, right? But we'll have to see what this shapes up to be. I'm interested to see if like the Arachne made it to day 2. I hope they show the meta breakdown at the beginning of the stream. I want to see if any of the. I know one Riptide definitely made day 2 because they were 4-1 when they beat that Katsu, so they got 5 wins, which is what you need to make day 2. So definitely a one Riptide made day 2 for sure. We didn't see any Icelander up there of note. We didn't see so the notable heroes that aren't in like the top 8 standings going into day 2 are Dash, Bravo, and Icelander, which is what you would expect maybe to see at least one of those. But it's a very competitive field. A lot of good players over there. A lot of even U.S. players travel to play at this event, so it'll be really fun to watch it. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'll give you a day 2 recap tomorrow for Sunday, and then Monday will be the Arachne deck tech video. So definitely check that out. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are if you're watching the event, what you think of the event, and it'll be a fun time. But thank you so much. If you're enjoying this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to our Flesh and Blood creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so you can get more people seeing this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.